gonna do now is I'm gonna get these seats cleaned and conditioned before I throw them in the back. These are the back seats for the E38 that we're working on, the interior swap. Just a basic leather cleaning and conditioning treatment that I'm gonna use. I'm gonna use Lexol products, some rags. That's all you need, some damp rags, clean damp rags. It's just a little step-by-step process, very simple. Just to clean them. These feel all dry. I know you can't feel them, but they're very dry. So it'll bring back some of the suppleness to the leather. When I finish with this, it won't look as cracked as it looks. You know, see, it has that little whiteness to it. It's supposed to be dark. It's a black leather, so how it's supposed to be. So I'm gonna try to restore that back. So let me get myself prepared and I'll show you step by step what I'm gonna do. The product that I'm gonna use to clean is gonna be the Lexol leather cleaner. So the first thing you want to do with it is shake it up. So give it a good shake. Now, if you follow the instructions that it says on here, it says to apply 2 sprays to a cloth or applicator and then work it in. But I find for my purpose that takes way too long and it doesn't build up any kind of lather when you do it that way. So I just spray it on liberally to an area. You know, you're gonna pretty much clean it. So I spray it on and then I work it in with a towel. You see how that starts to build up a lather, and then you're gonna pretty much clean it with that. All right, clean it up. You're gonna eventually wipe that off with a damp rag. So I'm gonna clean that. I'm gonna actually do this to the whole seat. And I'll do that to both sides. When it comes to that specific little area right there, that'll come right out. I thought that was going to be difficult, but I guess not. So this seat is not going to be that difficult to clean, but it is a process. So first thing, I'll get off the dirt, and then I'll show you how to get the conditioner on here, how to apply that. But as you can see, the dirt is coming up, and I'll be right back. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm just wiping it down with a damp cloth. I already applied the cleaner to the entire seat, and I'm wiping it down. This cloth is damp. Just taking off like any of the excess cleaner off. When I apply the conditioner next, I want to make sure that the cleaner is off of this. So just make sure you wipe it thoroughly down. Now this seat wasn't as dirty as the gray set that I have that I took out of the car originally. So when I show you how to clean that, it's going to be a little different process. This is fairly simple. These, I just want to make sure I get them nice and clean and protected. The conditioner and the dressing is going to protect these seats so that they'll last a while. When you're doing a restoration project, you pretty much want to get everything that you can back to spec. Like you see how this indentation is here? I got to work that out over time. That's going to take a little time to come out. All right, so now they usually say keep them damp. I dry them down just a little bit so that the conditioner could bite. I get not as damp as it is. I want it to feel just dry to the touch, but obviously not all the way dry. So I wipe this down, then I hit it with a dry towel, and then I get ready for the conditioning process. So I'll get ready for that, and I'll be right back. This is a microfiber cloth. I'm just running a pass or two with this. I'm preparing it for the conditioner now. Once this process is done, you don't really have to do much to the seats, but just, I guess, maintenance is wipe them down a bit every now and then. But this is a process that you could do, I would say, twice a year is what I would do. All right, so now I'm ready for my conditioner. That would be the Lexol Original Leather Conditioner Preservative. This is pretty much the same application process as the cleaner. So on the back it would say, shake well. If the leather's dirty, clean it first, which we just did. Spray 1 or 2 applications onto a rag and then apply. But the same thing, I spray directly on, but I don't go as heavy as when I was doing the cleaner. Alright, so that's the conditioner. I'm gonna work that in. I do it with a circular motion, pretty much like waxing it in. And I do this all over the whole seat. I take my time. Make sure you get it into the cracks, if it has any, because this is what's going to restore those cracks. This rag is damp. This is not a dry rag. This is damp. Whenever you're going to work with leather or vinyl, you need some kind of moisture. You don't want to dry rub this thing, because that friction is not good when you're trying to clean it. You're going to leave all types of residue on your fibers. Are going to come out on your leather and your vinyl. So you just want to work this in. Now make sure you get the sides too. This process works for your shoes as well. This is the same leather conditioning process. Now, again, like I was saying before, these particular seats that I'm working on right now, they're not that bad. So the process that I'm doing, it doesn't have to take as much time as it would take for a damaged set. After I rub this in completely, you're gonna let it sit in the leather for a couple of minutes. I'll let it sit in there for a good couple of minutes, like literally go find something to do. Come back in a couple of minutes before you start buffing it in with a dry cloth. Excuse me, not a dry cloth, with a clean cloth, I should say, slightly damp, clean cloth. And that will be the last step. But make sure you spend a little time working this in. I can already see this getting some of its elasticity back here, looking nice. This leather was just pretty much, it was just neglected. That's all was up with these seats that I got. I got them off this guy, and he wasn't doing nothing with the car. So another rescue situation. And then the car that I was putting this into, I didn't like the gray seats in there. I'm more of a dark interior type of guy, so I wanted to do an interior swap. Simple process, just takes a little bit of work. I like to do it the old school way, sourcing out the pieces. I could have also just changed the gray seats that I have. I could have changed them to black, but I'd rather do it this way. These seats fit perfect. I could restore them, they weren't that bad. So now what I'll do is I'll let these sit for a good couple minutes, a good 5-10 minutes, and come back and just work this in. And then I'll put some dressing on this. The dressing is pretty much going to be like a coating that's going to protect these so that nothing happens to the surface of these, and it'll be easy to clean. It'll keep these easy to maintain. So that's what I'm pretty much doing, giving these a treatment so that they'll be easier to maintain for the future when I put them in the car. These are getting ready to go into the car tomorrow, so gotta knock this out. So I'll let that sit for a couple minutes, and then I'll be back, show you the next step. The last step here is pretty much a buffing process. I'm wiping off any excess conditioner that was left over, but these already feel 100% different. Before, when I first started, they were like really dry and just neglected. Now they feel real soft, like a butter soft leather jacket. I can honestly say that's how like this area right here, it feels just like one of my jackets. And that's how these seats are supposed to be feeling. It's supposed to be a luxury car. Back when I first bought this car, if it was in 1997, I would have had a luxurious car. But I ended up getting it in 2020. So years and years and years of neglect. But all that can easily be restored. As you can see, it's not that difficult. So once I buff this out, these will be done. There was a dressing that I was going to put on them, but I'm actually going to try a different company. So I'm not going to put the Lexol dressing on these. I'm going to try another product that I don't have on hand. So when I get it, I'll show you guys what it is, and I'll throw that dressing on here. It's supposed to be a the way that it dries, it doesn't leave like a any type of residue at all. It's dry to the touch. So I want to try that out, because this Lexol one, actually, it's not bad, but it does leave some kind of film on there. Like you feel it, like if you rub your hands together, it feels like there's something on there with the Lexol. I want to try the other one to see if it works. These seats feel pretty good. I wish you could feel them. They haven't invented that type of technology yet, but these feel really good. Now, don't neglect the back. Even though this pushes up against the back of the car, this is actually something that can end up cracking in the future if it's neglected, and you don't want that happening. So get the back of the seats, get all in here, and then that's pretty much it. And that was a 2 out of 3 step process. I didn't apply the dressing, even though that is something that I do have to do. The first step was to clean it with a cleanser. I don't recommend anything too strong and too concentrated, because it might damage the material. This leather is pretty tough, but you might be working with some kind of a vinyl or something that might have a reaction. So That's why the Lexol that I use is specially formulated for leather. So that's why I use it. Depending on the material of what you're cleaning, decide appropriately what you're going to use. Once I used that cleaner, the next thing I did was apply a conditioner. Now, a conditioner is a two-step application. I'm in the second step of it now. It's pretty much a rub-in application. Then you let that sit in for a few minutes. I average about 5 to 7 minutes of wait time. And then this, which I'm doing now, is the buffing process. This buffing process is pretty much wiping away any excess. Now that the conditioner is sit in, it's already in there. So any excess, I don't really want that on there. I'll wipe that off. This is a slightly damp cloth. It's not even wet, slightly damp. So as soon as I finish with a pass, it's pretty much drying on its own. And then I'm gonna let this just sit. It's done. It feels nice. It's supple again. Very comfortable, which is what I wanted. Over some time, over a couple of days, this spot will start coming out. When this leather releases the tension there in that area, keep rubbing it there. That'll be fine. And I'm going to do the same thing to the rest of the pieces of the back seat before I put them in. That'll be tomorrow. So you guys are actually going to see the process of that. This E38 is coming together right in front of your eyes. Thanks for watching the process. So there goes my process to reconditioning seat basic maintenance. This is something that I say you should do about twice a year to keep your seats looking nice. Your car can be maintained over 20-30 years if you do small maintenance just like this. You don't have to take the seats out of the car to do this. I had the seats out of the car because I'm doing the interior swap, so this is a perfect time for me to do it. But this process could be done with the seats right in the car. Same steps that you would take. Just be careful if you have anything in there that you don't want to get any application of your products on. Just mask things off. I'll show you some masking techniques when I spray the carpet. I'll show you guys that. So you're going to learn a lot on Project Beamers, especially in the next couple of weeks that I'm actually working on some of these cars. Thanks for tuning in. If you like what you see so far, you might as well subscribe, like the page, or do whatever that you got to do, all that YouTube stuff. I don't really know what you got to do. Just show some love, pretty much, and keep watching the videos. That's all I really want. And there you go. That seat is done.